2019 Adelsheim staking claim Chardonnay coming from the Willamette Valley. You guys, I have to tell you a quick story before I jump into this wine, which is a few years ago, I went to Oregon for the very first time to the Willamette Valley. I had never been there before, but of course, I was obsessed with the Pinots, just like so many of you, right? Oregon, the land of great Pinot Noir here in the United States. So I went up there. I was very excited to taste everything. And my takeaway was that one, of course, Pinot is delicious, but two, the Chardonnay is kind of where it's at. No one is talking about the incredible Chardonnay that is being produced in the Willamette Valley. And it really, to me, was the best of all worlds. You got the gorgeous ripeness that we love about California with also just a little bit of that minerality, a little more tart fruit that we'd expect from Burgundy, very classic styled winemaking. And I loved it. I couldn't get enough of it. And so now that I'm back outside of Oregon, I'm super excited to be tasting this. This is, like I said, one of the classic producers from the region. This is Adelsheim. They're actually one of the founding wineries of the Willamette Valley. They've been around since the 70s, so they know a thing or two about the region. As you look at this glass, you're going to notice a few things. One, it's not super, super golden. It's kind of like a light golden, a pale golden color, which to me is going to indicate one of two things. One, it's not got a ton of new French oak on it. And two, it's still fairly young. And both of those things are true. As you stick your nose in the glass, notice a few things. One, of course, you're getting really beautiful fruit, but it's kind of all over the place. So you're getting lots of that classic orchard fruit, a little apple, a little pear, but it sits right dab in the middle of being not tart, but not super ripe. And that to me is where Oregon lives most of the time. It gives you, like I said, the best of all worlds. The other thing that you should be noticing is that you're not getting a ton of new French oak indicators on that nose, meaning you're not getting a ton of the baking spice, you're not getting a ton of the vanilla, the cardamom, the cinnamon. And that's because this wine, even though it is aged in some new French oak, isn't being aged entirely in new French oak and is only being aged for a small amount of time. So if you're not someone that loves big oaky Chardonnays, this is one that you're definitely going to want to check out. The other thing that you should be noticing is a little bit of that like flinty minerality, a little bit of reduction is kind of what we call it. So this is almost if someone struck a match and you get just this little bit of like smoky, flinty thing going on. This is a stylistic choice in the winemaking, but it's also something that can come from the soil as well. I can't get enough of this nose. I'm super excited to have it on the palate. And there she is, right? Lifted, bright, textured. Everything that we love about Oregon Chardonnay. So if you're someone that loves Burgundy, but that you're also someone that loves California, this is definitely the wine that's going to split the difference for you. Notice all of that great acidity kind of coming down here. So you're getting it kind of starting up here. And as you keep drinking it, you're going to notice it's going to start to come down a little bit. But what's beautiful about this wine is it's got so much texture and body. A lot of times with really, really high acid wines, we don't get so much of that texture, that viscosity in the center there. It can be a little bit of a lighter bodied wine. This actually has richness. It has body. As you move it around in your mouth, you're going to notice a combination, just like on the nose, of both tart and ripe apples. Definitely living in like the green apple sector. You're getting a ton of orchard fruit from all over the place, even like a little bit of persimmon in there as well. So what I love is that you're getting both the fruit and then you're also getting the floral and you're getting continue to get that great minerality on the palate. So a little bit of that flintiness is kind of coming through there as well. The other thing that you're going to notice if you took a look at the text sheet is that this wine went through about 90% malolactic fermentation, meaning 90% of that conversion from that tart malic acid to that rounder, creamier lactic acid. And I mention it because even though that's what it says, to me, this wine still has really great sort of angularity, some of that brightness that we expect from a wine that hasn't gone through malolactic fermentation. Now, remember, this is a conversion. This is not necessarily an actual fermentation. This is really just a conversion of those two different acids. So malic acid meaning that green apple acidity, kind of that zigzaggy acidity, converting to the lactic acid. So something that you would find in dairy. So a creamier version. The byproduct of this, not to get super geeky, is what's called diacetyl. And that's what you're going to find on those really buttery, sort of rich Chardonnays that you love from other places like we find in California. So what's interesting to me is that it went mostly through mallow, but still retains a lot of this really bright, zippy, racy acidity. In terms of food pairings, I think we could be a lot of different places with a wine like this. Like I mentioned, it's got great acidity, but it also has texture, which gives you a lot of runway for many different dishes. If you're in the warmer months, I'm definitely looking to our fresh salads with a little bit of protein. So whether that's salmon or chicken, keep it on the lighter side for the protein. That's a really good call. But if you're in the cooler months and salad isn't really in, the repertoire, don't be afraid to put this against a standalone protein. So whether that's pork or chicken or turkey, this is a wine that has the body to stand up to it, but it also has that great acidity to cut through any sort of richer sauces that you might have on those dishes. So butter-based sauces are always my favorite. If you're in the fall months, anything that's got orchard fruit in it, so anything that's apple or pear, anything like that that's on your proteins is a great way to go. But if you're just sitting at home by yourself and you need a little snack, grab the popcorn. Popcorn and Chardonnay, one of my favorite things on the planet. All right, cheers.